Hola, mi gente, ¿qué pasa? It's your girl, Lady B Moore, and I'm back with the follow-up from my last video. My last video was like part X and 3/4, and I just basically read the Willie Lynch letter and gave y'all some feedback on it. So now I'm back. Now I've been gone for a minute, not only from on YouTube, not just because of my busy schoolwork and my busy end of semester, but also because we actually had a break for Easter and for and for Good Friday, so I actually went home or whatever. So that's where I've been. But I'm back. All those friend requests I got, I will accept them. Some of y'all, and all the messages I got, I will reply. Some of y'all. But the reason why I'm saying some of y'all is because I finally reached my maturity level. Hand clap for me. Hand clap for me. I finally reached my maturity level, and I'm just so mature now that I really don't have time to talk back to the racists. All the people who've been telling me don't feed the trolls, don't give in to their stupidity, don't stoop down to their level. Back then, I wasn't listening, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm still young, just turned 20. So even then, like a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't listening, but now I know they all say the same thing. It's either nigger, ape, gorilla, coon, big lips, dark skin, mud skin, shit skin. It's all the same thing. They don't even have legitimate, valid reasoning behind all the stuff they're talking about us. So, I mean, like, I don't have anything else to say to them. I might talk to them indirectly, but I'm not talking to them directly anymore. So if y'all see messages from racists, I'm not going to be replying, and I shouldn't be tagging their wall anymore. But this is a hopefully. Hopefully I won't. I probably won't. I'm saying hopefully just in case. But I probably won't be doing it anymore. I'm to that maturity level. I should not be talking about considerations. They all talk about the same things. I'm past that. So yeah, that's what I wanted to come on here and say. And I also wanted to come on here and talk and tell y'all about my past week. This week. Well, I'm going to start off by talking about this. So I actually know that I go to University of Tennessee, and y'all also know that we are the national champions. We're #1. We beat the Rutgers University, And when I want to talk about that, during the game or after the game, there was supposed to be some man by the name of IMUS. I mean, y'all probably know about it. I have never watched this show, but we actually got this sent to us through our school email from one of our professors on our campus. So I'm just going to read the email to y'all, and the subject is IMUS calls Rutgers University black women nappy-headed hoes. And the title of the thing, that was the subject of the email. The title of the news article is IMUS sorry for racist remarks about Rutgers. And I'm just going to read it. He said this is updated 1:44 p.m. Eastern, April 6, 2007. It starts like this. Don Imus apologized Friday for calling the Rutgers women's basketball team nappy-headed hoes on his Imus in the Morning show. In a statement, Imus said, I want to take a moment to apologize for an insensitive and ill-conceived remark we made the other morning regarding the Rutgers women's basketball team, which lost to Tennessee in the NCAA championship game on Tuesday. It was completely inappropriate, and we can understand why people were offended. Our characterization was thoughtless and stupid, and we are sorry. Imus made the remarks when talking to Sid Rosenberg with Sports Talk over the telephone about the game. Imus described Rutgers as some rough girls from Rutgers. They got tattoos, and then called them some nappy-headed hoes. He compared them to Tennessee, saying, the girls from Tennessee, they all look cute. Anyway, that's not the point. The conversation then went on to compare the game to the Jigaboos versus the Wannabes. Media Matters reported that the show's executive producer, Bernard McGurk, made that comment. The New York Times reported that Imus said people should relax and not worry about some idiot comment meant to be amusing. A Rutgers spokesperson issued a statement saying, we agree with Mr. Imus that this was, in his own words, an idiot comment. We are very proud of the success of the Rutgers women's basketball team. Coach Stringer and the Rutgers players are outstanding ambassadors for this great institution. MSNBC released this statement in response to the comments. While simulcast by MSNBC, Imus in the Morning is not a production of the cable network and is produced by WFAN Radio. As Imus makes clear every day, his views are not those of MSNBC. We regret that his remarks were aired on MSNBC, and we apologize for these offensive comments. I don't even have anything else to add to that. I just want to make y'all aware of that because I'm actually a person that goes to Tennessee, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually a person that these comments could affect, you know what I'm saying? I'm not on the basketball team or nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure he was talking about Tennessee, our wannabes, and Rutgers were jigaboos, and I don't see myself as a wannabe, so, I mean, I don't know if I would call his remark racist. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but either way, it's discriminatory and it shouldn't have been said. What else I want to say about that? I know that Al Sharpton actually had something online to where he actually talked to the dude, but I'm not going to read that on here. I don't really even like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson like that, so I'm not even going to that right now. But a thing I want to show you right quick, I'm about to show y'all this newspaper because I actually got to meet someone that y'all probably are going to like. Most of y'all going to like, most of y'all going to know, most of y'all probably heard of. But before I do that, I'm going to show y'all what I got out of the newspaper before I show y'all the newspaper. Y'all see this? Ain't this funny? I thought it was funny. I mean, like, this is, you can call it old because they're actually going to make a stupid talk show or something about the stupid caveman. We don't want to know about the cave beasts. We hear about the cave beasts every day. We don't want to know any more about them. So I just thought it was funny. The caveman. I'm going to leave it up there for a minute. See, I can ponder on that. Compare skin tones, too. Hold on. Where my hands at? I'm going to be asking where my hands at. Oh, there you go. Definitely not my color. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm going to say. And I actually got this out of a newspaper that I'm going to show y'all today. I actually got to meet, or actually go see, Angela Davis. Do y'all know who she is? No, Angela Davis, I'm going to read this little thing. I actually got to go see her speak. She's a former Black Panther. She's a former member of the Communist Party. She's an activist. She's this, she's that, and I'm just going to read this little bulletin about her. Angela Yvonne Davis was born in the early 1940s in Birmingham, Alabama, to Frank and Sally Davis. As a young child, she experienced many acts of racial injustice towards blacks. During her early childhood years, Miss Davis watched in horror as whites bombed the homes of blacks in and around her neighborhood. This part of town eventually became known as Dynamite Hill. Because she received poor education from her segregated schools, her parents encouraged her to positively represent her family and race and to read and excel as much as she could. Following her desire to expand beyond the barriers of the South, by high school, she had drafted a plan to escape the system and apply for a program that would allow her to attend school in New York. After high school graduation, Miss Davis moved to Massachusetts and attended Brandeis University, where her studies provided the opportunity to study in Europe. She toured the country and spent 1 year studying in France. While there, Miss Davis participated in protest rallies and political movements. She studied in Germany for 2 years. It was here that Miss Davis's yearning to become involved in the political struggles of her own people sent her back to the United States. Angela Yvonne Davis returned to the United States and enrolled in the University of California at San Diego to pursue her master's degree. She graduated in 1968 and began organizing group rallies to fight the injustices in her community. She accepted an assistant professor of philosophy position at the University of California at Los Angeles. Many people opposed her position, causing her family to receive threatening phone calls on a daily basis. In July of 1986, I wasn't even born yet, Miss Davis joined the Communist Party, USA, and later that year joined the Black Panther Party. Her association with these radical groups caused her to lose her teaching position and also to become the third woman in history placed on the FBI Most Wanted list. Miss Davis was arrested on charges of murder and kidnapping after a revolt in a courtroom that ended with 4 people dead, including a judge. She spent 18 months in jail and was later acquitted of the charges. Miss Davis has been a professor, writer, organizer, and activist. She has published many books. Women, Race, and Class is a world-known analysis of the contemporary women's movement in American society and how race in the capitalist economy has had an effect on the movement. She fought for the liberation for all of the world's people, regardless of race, gender, or national origin. To this day, Angela Davis continues as a political and social activist and currently serves as a tenured professor at the University of California at St. Cruz. And, man, I mean, this was a really big experience for me. I've actually never met a former Black Panther or a former communist. Not to say I'm a communist, not to say I'm a Black Panther, but I've never met a former Black Panther or a former communist in person. And to actually hear that she was coming, the reason why I didn't forewarn y'all is because I just found out like a day before she was coming, and I was back home. But Yeah, man, like I was saying, I've never actually got to meet a former Black Panther or a former communist in person. When I met Juan Williams, Dr. Ian Wilson, I think that was his name, and Sister Soldier in person, I was enthusiastic as well, just as enthusiastic as I was when I met Angela Davis. She really just talked a lot about her contributions and stuff that she had did in her life and all. She talked about working on activist issues with Huey P. Newton, Nelson Mandela, etc. I know y'all know who Huey P. Newton is. Why can't I get his name out? I know y'all know who Huey P. Newton is. She talked about a lot of stuff. She talked about how she worked in like California prison systems. Again, she joined the Communist Party, and she said she was hired to teach Marxism philosophy class. Remember I told y'all she was a professor of philosophy. She later became a member of the BPP. What else? She was on the FBI's most top 10 wanted list. She actually found out the reason why she was freed is she found out that People Orthodox campaigned to free her. She said it was over 250 committees to free Angela Davis. And she said that her bail was, I can't remember exactly, I'm trying to look right here. I can't remember exactly how much her bail was, but she said her bail was so much that her family and all that couldn't afford it. And I think she said that it was Aretha Franklin that was going to post her bail for her, but at the time she was going to get out, Aretha Franklin was actually out of the country, out of the United States. And she said that Roger McAfee, that is his specific name, who was a white farmer, ended up putting up his farm to free Angela. Later on, Roger McAfee had to be protected because the KKK attacked him and killed his animals, basically destroyed his farm so that Angela couldn't get out. But I just want to go to show y'all, even though, you know what I'm saying, Angela was a member of the Black Panther Party, she was a member of, you know, the Communist Party, she suffered racial injustice and all this stuff, just as we suffer today. Even though she suffered all this stuff, she still had white people on her side. I'm trying to get y'all to see that while y'all might think I'm getting on here hating on white people, behind the scenes, it's not even like that. In front screen, I don't understand why it seems like that. When I say white anything, I'm referring to white supremacists. My brothers are half white. I have a slew of half white cousins and uncles and all that. You know what I'm saying? I got white friends back home. I got a few white friends here. Race doesn't always matter. It's not about race. I really think it's about economic power. It's about your economic level and your economic status and your socioeconomic status. They don't care about the blacks. They don't care about the poor. And like I said, the majority of the poor are of color, so that's why it seems like it's being a racial injustice. But to say more on that, it can be a racial injustice at the same time. It's kind of contradicting. You're probably like, oh, she's contradicting herself. But I'm trying to get y'all to see that it can be a racist thing, but on the other hand, it doesn't have to always be a racist thing. I don't really even have to say that much about Angela. She kind of rambled on for hours. At first I was really kind of nodding off, and she didn't have nothing to say. And, I mean, she really didn't have nothing to say, so I was kind of nodding off. And then, like, in the last hour or two, that's when she started talking about stuff. And I'm going to actually, the paper, remember I told you about that I got the caveman thing from? See, there's her picture. It's kind of folded, my fault. But there's her picture, whatever, and I'm just going to read the article from that, just to give y'all a little feel on what she said, because I took notes on my thing. Y'all can actually see where I took notes. But I had so little room to take notes that the notes aren't sufficient, so I'm going to read the paper to y'all to kind of give y'all a feel of what she talked about. And yeah, I'm looking rough today. I probably still got goggle marks. The hair is rough. It's raining outside. It's raining in the south. They're treating us so badly. It's raining. Why, weatherman? Why? Why, Sky or whoever is in charge of the weather? Why? Why did it have to rain? It was so pretty. But yeah, I just want to let you know I just got out of lab, so I got these goggle marks. Probably got radioactive material all over my hand. We did a couple of carbon dating labs and stuff like that. C14, y'all probably know about stuff like that. Anywho, let me get back to this, because I'm kind of getting off track. Anyways, so the headline is as follows. Famous Panthers in quotation marks. Famous Panther enlightens UT campus. Famous Panther enlightens, what a beautiful word, enlightens UT campus. And I'm going to read it. It's by Jennifer Hayes, who is one of our staff writers. Okay. At a lecture on campus Monday night, former Black Panther Angela Davis explored the correlation between the university's low black student and faculty population and slavery's lingering effects. That's one thing she was talking about. She was talking about, like, all these problems we're suffering from today are lingering effects of slavery. And when she, like, at first, yeah, I did understand, but y'all probably not understanding. At first, some people, I'm pretty sure they're not going to understand, but once I get to reading this, y'all kind of going to understand. So, yeah, I'm going to get back to this. It's about 15 minutes. I never thought I'd be talking for that long. But here I go. Davis, a professor at the University of California, Santa Cruz, discussed her life as an activist as well as the issues affecting the University of Tennessee. And this is what she says. If we look at the situation on this campus and the relatively small number of black students and the infinite number of black faculty, no, that's not right, infinitesimal, okay, that's the word, in the infinitesimal number of black faculty, we can argue that that's a holdover from slavery, she says. Davis also said that she doubts a constitutional amendment that did not define slavery and what it meant to end it could put an end to the practice's effects, emphasizing how extensive it was and how it infiltrated the lives of so many individuals. Coerced labor is just one aspect of slavery, Davis said. The 14th Amendment does not mention social death or civil death, she said. If slavery had been abolished, there would not have been a need for a civil rights movement. That's true. If y'all really freed my ancestors and all that, when y'all said y'all was going to abolish slavery with the 14th Amendment and all that, if y'all really would have freed my ancestors, there would have been no need for a civil rights movement. All that civil rights that should have been abolished with all the rejection of civil rights that should have been abolished with slavery, they should have gained their civil rights. When you say you abolish slavery, you abolish everything that comes with it. But obviously it didn't, and that's why we're seeing the after effects still in 2007. So, you know what I'm saying? This is the lingering after effects of slavery. I don't care what none of y'all say. I don't care if y'all believe me. There's never going to be a person who agrees with me fully to 100%. So, like I said, I don't care if y'all believe me or not. But like Angela Davis, like so many others, I believe this. You should have seen how many hands were clapped when she said these are lingering effects of slavery. White, black, Latino, whatever. People, that's what I like, diversity. I like it so much when people can all come together and come together on the same idea, come together on the same thought. You know what I'm saying? I like it when it can be like that. When it doesn't have to just be black people standing up for each other. When it doesn't have to just be white people standing up for each other. When we can all come together and stand up for each other. That's the kind of stuff I like right there. So y'all think I'm racist? It's not all about being racist. It's about trying to get all of us together. It's not just going to take, civil rights movement times, we had white people, we had gays, we had so many different people coming together to help us. We didn't do this by ourselves. Our ancestors didn't do that by ourselves. Martin Luther King didn't do it by himself. So when they just mentioned Martin Luther King, Coretta Scott King, and people like that, Rosa Parks, it's not all about them. They didn't do that by themselves. I want to get y'all to see that. It's not all about Black History Month. And like so many other people have said, I think they just need a real Black History Month because they spend a whole month talking about 2 people and they leave out hundreds and hundreds of other people. I think Black history should be 365 days a year, just like white history is. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, we're seen to be looked at as inferior. We're the bad race and all this. So it's never going to be like that. I think they need to change over the books and all that and start telling the truth in our school. They need to start telling the truth in our school. Or we need to get some schools for ourselves. Sorry, my phone's going off. But I'm gonna finish this because I'm getting off. So I'm gonna repeat that last sentence. If slavery had been abolished, If slavery would have been abolished, there would have not been a need for a civil rights movement, Davis says. The amendment does not address the ideological issue of racism, which was the underpinning of the slave system, and the U.S. Constitution does not deal with racism either, Davis said. Still in the 21st century, we are living with the consequences and the vestiges of slavery, said Davis, who added that many people do not understand how that is possible. That's what I was saying. Y'all might not understand it. Y'all might not understand it in the beginning, but y'all gonna understand it in the end. And it's not. Y'all gonna have to understand it before we have a revolution, cause y'all just gonna need to understand it, man. It's so crazy, man. We need a revolution for a while. I done said this like every video, but we need one. Anywho, Davis said her childhood was full of stories of people whose lives were claimed by the prison systems or capital punishment. During the late 60s, she worked on numerous cases that attempted to free political prisoners such as Nelson Mandela, Huey Newton, and the Soledad brothers. In connection with the case of the Soledad brothers, I actually woke up one morning and found that I was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list, Davis said. That, she said, led her to make punitive issues a theme of her life. Although it had not been an initial focus of her activism, prison had become a form of political subjugation, she said. That's the same thing I said. When I got on here and talked about how prison and jail is a form of slavery, I never got on here talking about that we should let all the capital murders and snipers and child rapists and molesters and all that out. But I'm talking about all these people who go to jail longer than the murders for drugs. I don't think they should be in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, prison is a form of modern-day slavery. I probably got like 3 stars on that video. I do not care. I don't care how many people agree with me. I agree with myself, and all it takes is one person. I agree with myself. I think that's enough. And like I said, prison and jail is modern-day slavery. BT, modern-day minstrel show. BT, modern-day blackface. So, I mean, let me get back to this because I keep getting off. Anywho, the Soledad brothers were 3 black prisoners charged with murdering a prison guard during a riot in 1970. The prisoners, George Jackson, John Clutchett, and Fleta Drumgo, were well-known, outspoken activists for prisoners' rights and spoke out against racism. I'm going to repeat those names again. George Jackson, John Clutchett, and Fleta Drumgo were well-known, outspoken activists for prisoners' rights and spoke out against racism. There were 3 people singled out and charged with murder, Davis said. When I read about that case, I immediately sought to contribute whatever I could. By then, she was starting a teaching job at the philosophy department at the University of California, Los Angeles. She had joined the Communist Party 2 years earlier, and one student wrote an article about her being a party member. She didn't attempt to conceal her political affiliations because, she argued, she had the right to join any political party she wanted to. She was also hired to teach Marxism, but was fired by the Board of Regents and had to get a court injunction in order to continue teaching at UCLA. I'm so tongue-tied, and I apologize, y'all. Through that experience, she saw the connection between herself and the Soledad brothers, but they were going to lose their lives if they were not successful, she said, noting that she would only lose her job. She then began to make the connection between the prison system's political suppression and similar suppression by the education system. Davis received death threats so frequently that she had to have a security detail wherever she went, on and off campus. She said one of the members of her security detail happened to be George Jackson's younger brother, and he took one of the guns registered in her name to a courtroom where a shootout occurred. 4 people, including a federal judge and Jackson's younger brother, were killed. Davis was charged with murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. As soon as I discovered what happened, I basically had to go underground, she said. Davis said she did this because there were numerous cases of people surrendering to the police and being killed. You know, like, basically she's saying back in those times, if you were activist, kind of doing the thing I'm doing here, if you spoke too much, you were killed. If you spoke too much, you were assassinated. So, I mean, yeah, man, you were assassinated if you did what I'm doing. I'm brave. I'm very brave. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, eventually Davis was acquitted of all charges due to a large campaign in her support. There were people organizing a campaign to free me, she said. This campaign was the most amazing collective effort of people from all racial backgrounds. Again, this campaign was the most amazing collective effort of people from all racial backgrounds. She said there were more than 200 committees attempting to free her, and that she was fortunate to have such strong support. It appeared to be insurmountable, and people didn't accept that, and they fought back, Davis said. For one audience member, having Davis speak on campus was an honor. I thought she was really amazing. I thought she said a lot of good things. Ruba Nuwayed, a junior in sociology, said, I think she's done a lot of cool things with her life. It was just an honor to hear her speak. And I actually say ditto, kudos, I second that. It was an honor to have her speak, even though I told y'all she rambled on for like an hour, basically just talking about herself. Not to say that's bad, but still, she spent an hour talking about herself when she could have just got right into it. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to touch on and tell y'all that I had the pleasure of meeting Angela Davis. And to let y'all know, she is so not as militant as she used to be back then. She has calmed down so much more. At first, I kind of thought the lady was a little nuts because she was sitting up there, like, talking all proper, and then, like, the next 5 minutes, she'd be like, oh, and this and this and this and this. So, like, she flipped from militant to passive in, like, 5 minutes, and I just thought it was real weird. But I do that sometimes, so I guess I'm a weird person too. But the last thing I want to touch on, since I said I wasn't going to say anything to the racists anymore, I'm actually calling out a person on YouTube by the name of Larasa 007, Larasa 007. And I was actually looking up videos and stumbled into a video about interracial dating. And of course, yeah, I put my 2 cents on there. If y'all want to see it, y'all can gladly go to the interracial dating video and see my 2 cents. But anywho, okay. This dude, I just thought he was so stupid. I'm just give y'all one comment, and y'all tell me for yourself if this is not stupid. Larasa 007 says, I gave up on the sisters a long time ago. I only date white chicks. Like most brothers, white chicks don't give us drama, attitude, and bitch and complain every 2 minutes. White chicks do give good head and are good in bed. It's okay for a brother to date white, but messed up for our sisters to date crackers. That's just messed up. I'm going to read that last thing because that was the ignorant part I was talking about. It's okay for a brother to date whites, but messed up for our sisters to date crackers. That's just messed up. So, yeah, I just want y'all to attack him. No, I'm just kidding. That ain't what I'm getting on here for. I'm just getting on here to show y'all how stupid some of our brothers and sisters can be. How can anybody, get on here and say it's okay for them to date outside their race, but the females, black sisters in this case, can't date outside their race? I'm going to just end it with that because that's so dumb. I can't even give it any more thought. I can't give it any more thought at all. I can't give it any more thought. And like I said, Taklama would not be talking to the racists anymore. I'm past that. I'm so ready to do other things, and I'm not focused on the cowardice, insecure, lifeless, low-life cowards. I'm not focused on the cowards anymore. I'm not focused on the racists anymore. They don't even give us valid reasons to why they hate us. They don't have valid reasons to why they hate us. They hate what they fear. They fear the unknown. We are the unknown to them. All our history, they don't even know our history. We have to find it for ourselves. The ones that do know the history try as hard as they can to get it hidden from us. They don't want us to know our real history. They don't want us to know that we were the first philosophers, mathematicians, scientists, the first everything, the first surgeons, doctors. We created most of the electrical stuff too. They don't want us to know that. And I'm speaking in a passive voice right now, and I'm gonna just get off here, close out, and yeah. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Hosep. Ciao. Adios. Hasta luego. I'm out.